On July 16, 2013, Italian astronaut Luca Parmitano and American astronaut Chris Cassidy began their second spacewalk. While routing an Ethernet cable 44 minutes in, Luca felt something strange at the back of his head.
It's hard to tell, but it feels like a lot of water. Oh, I see. I see it now, wiggling.
Luca Parmitano reporting some water had built up behind his head inside of his helmet.
At first, Luca thought this was just a nuisance. Water behaves differently in space than it does on Earth due to the lack of gravity to pull it down into droplets or pools. Instead, it sticks to your head like gel. There's no simple way to just wipe it away.
I don't understand where it's coming from. It can't be the water. It has to be the bag.
Astronaut Chris Cassidy is referring to a bag that provides drinking water in the spacesuit through a straw. Luca drinks all of the water to see if it stops entering his helmet, but it doesn't.
The bag is empty now. There's something less than a liter in the back of his head, 800 milliliters maybe.
Karina Eversley, who was in charge of spacewalks, said, "Immediately, it made me think that's not normal." Her support team started asking Luca, how much water was there exactly? Was it increasing? Was he sure it was water? The floating drops Luca drank tasted disgusting, metallic-like.
Right now, the flight control teams have the astronauts standing by while they continue to assess the situation.
As they waited for Houston to decide what to do, Luca and Chris snapped photos of each other in space. While taking pictures, Luca was acutely aware of how wet his communication headset had gotten, which could short out his microphone or earphones, jeopardizing his ability to communicate with Chris and mission control.
My head is really wet, and I have a feeling that it's increasing. And that's in my eyes.
Water is in his eyes now, and it seems to be increasing. We think we're going to terminate EVA case for EV2.
EV2 refers to Luca in this scenario. Although Flight Director David Korth terminated the spacewalk, it wasn't considered an emergency. It was not an order to stop what you're doing and hurry back as fast as you can to the airlock, the chamber that serves as a safe transition area for moving between the vacuum of space and the pressurized environment inside the ISS. Luca would head back to the airlock about 90 feet away. Chris would gather up their stuff, secure everything, and then head back. They had to split up to avoid tangling their tethers, as they were attached to the space station from different directions. Luca felt uneasy about being separated from Chris. He later said, "I just had this feeling. I just wish Chris would come with me." As Luca made his way back to the airlock, the sun set. Unlike on Earth, where the sun sets gradually, in orbit, it goes from bright light to complete darkness in an instant. The only light source was the small lights on Luca's helmet, but they're not very powerful because light in space doesn't illuminate like on Earth, as there's no air to spread the beam. Luca had to get around an antenna on his way back that was protruding from the space station. He flipped over so that his head was toward the station and his feet were toward the sky. Suddenly, blobs of water covered his eyes and nose. Luca recalled, "In that split second, I knew I was in trouble. If the water continued to accumulate, he would drown."
Imagine walking around with your eyes closed in a fishbowl. Really, that's what was going on at the moment. It's just a very uncomfortable feeling to be with your face underwater for all that time.
To make the situation even more alarming, his headset stopped working, so he couldn't hear Chris or Mission Control, who could have helped guide him back. Luca said he couldn't even see the handholds he was supposed to hold on to. The only way he could return to the airlock was by relying on the tension of his tether, a lifeline in the truest sense. His extensive knowledge of the ISS's intricate layout also became his saving grace.
I went back using just memory, basically going back to the airlock until I found it.
I'm opening the airlock cover.
Copy, thermal cover open.
When Luca got into the airlock, he couldn't take off his helmet. He had to wait for Chris to arrive to seal the hatch and repressurize the chamber to match the internal pressure of the space station. Only then could they open the inner hatch, enter the rest of the space station, and safely remove their helmets.
Luca and Shane, I'm on my way. Thermal cover is closed. I'm in.
Copy, thermal cover closed.
Once the hatch is closed, they'll be able to repressurize the crew lock.
Okay, Shane, the hatch is closed and locked.
Chris, great job. Karen, over to you.
Okay, here comes the equalization.
Roger that.
A NASA astronaut Karen Nyberg, alongside her Russian crewmates in the main part of the space station, took charge of repressurizing the airlock. Astronauts must adjust to pressure changes similar to how swimmers gently blow air out of their nose. But the presence of water in his helmet meant that Luca had no way to equalize the pressure in his ears. When the pressure increased, the pain became unbearable. Luca tried yelling as loud as he could to send a message to Karen to slow down the repressurization, but his comms device had died again.
Hey, Luca from Houston, how you doing? Give us the status.
Luke, did you hear that? Squeeze my hand if you're fine. He looks fine. He looks miserable, but, okay. You okay? Roger that. Shane, visually confirmed, with no telling signals, he's doing okay.
Copy, that's great news. Thanks, Chris.
After 7 agonizing minutes, the chamber was repressurized.
Hatch coming open.
Airlock Houston, if you could have some towels ready, that would be great.
We have them here.
The crew bringing Luca through the hatch into the equipment lock. They'll be expediting the removal of his suit.
When a Russian cosmonaut rushes to get Luca's helmet off, Karen Nyberg stops him. She realizes that if the gloves of the suit are not removed first, the helmet could shoot straight off. With the gloves loosened, the crew starts removing his helmet. They estimated that they mopped up between 1 and 1.5 liters of water.
You can see some of the water floating away that had built up inside of Luca's helmet.
Engineers traced the issue to a malfunction with the spacesuit's fan pump separator, crucial for separating water from air to provide breathable air and regulate body temperature. However, the water filters didn't work properly, allowing tiny particles to clog the spacesuit's water filtration system before launch. The blockages caused water to enter the ventilation system.
A mixture of water and air getting into this vent port.
And then spilling into Luca's helmet. Yet the biggest error was not technical, it was human. A week earlier, Luca had noticed water in his helmet after his first spacewalk. He and Chris assumed his drinking bag had leaked and talked it over with Mission Control. The whole team agreed it must have been squeezed out of Luca's drink bag. So they replaced it, and that was the end of that. Nobody thought it was anything they had to be overly concerned about. The official report by the Mishap Investigation Board stated, the occurrence of minor amounts of water in the helmet was normalized. Repeated exposure to risk without consequences can lead to complacency. Driving distracted without any issues can foster a false sense of safety, raising the risk of serious accidents. In this case, thankfully, a catastrophic outcome was averted. The investigation concluded that Luca's calm demeanor in the face of his helmet filling with water possibly saved his life. NASA learned from this incident. Engineers added a breathing tube to the helmet similar to a snorkel, and also an absorbent pad around the top of the head. The greatest lesson NASA learned, however, was, in their words, that past experience cannot be relied upon to predict future problems. Just as NASA learned from this harrowing incident to innovate and improve their spacesuits, we can learn to break out of bad habits and introduce positive changes in our lives. If changing bad habits feels as out of reach as the stars, meet Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device that contains no vapors or harmful chemicals. Instead, it contains all-natural, delicious flavors. I really didn't know what to expect before I got it. It is gorgeous. It's slick, made out of real wood, and it also comes with an adjustable airflow to customize your experience. Plus, it's really cool to just fidget with and de-stress. Fume has helped over 150,000 people, and there's no reason that it can't help you. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head to tryfume.com/newsthink, link is in the description, or scan the QR code and use code Newsthink to get 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com and use code Newsthink to save an additional 10% off your order today. Thanks for watching. For Newsthink, I'm Cindy Pom.